Thanks. Thanks so much to the Manipal online team, as well as thanks to Saman Abhishek for setting up this platform for me. And I'm happy to walk you through some of my learnings in marketing with this short webinar. And I'm happy to see that around 300 attendees in this webinar. Great. Welcome you all board. Cool. So so I'll just set some context. So in the next 45 minutes, I'll quickly try and walk you through some of the changes that has been gone through as marketing as a field, and someone who is going to make a career in marketing, what are the key critical things that we should keep in mind or focus when you make a career in mind as a career in marketing. So that's pretty much what the today's agenda would look like. While these are some of the topics that I'm going to cover, by looking at some of these headlines, you might feel it is pretty theoretical in nature, but what I'm going to cover is it's completely from my experience and what I've been learned working with the different brands and other folks in the industry. And I hope that it'll add value to your career in future. Great. Moving to the first slide. In this slide, what I'm trying to talk about is what has changed in marketing from a traditional way of doing marketing versus modern. And this is not when I say not about 20, 30 years back, it is as old as 5 to 10 years back, how things were, and how is it now, how things have changed now, right? And some of the key things that we should keep in mind when we move into marketing, or someone who's even getting into the marketing career, or even someone who just started and moving to the next level of marketing. I think these are some of the key things that we keep in mind and focus on to make a great career in marketing, right? So for me, marketing, it all starts from customer. For everything, I think it starts from customer point of view. And that's how all the marketers in this era start thinking, because if you look at 10 years back or 15 years back, most of the marketing activities have been done in such a way by putting a focus on product or a service by a company. They would have created a product or a service by the product folks or the business folks, and then the ask for a marketing team is to just promote it, or create a reach awareness or build the brand, build the product, right? Now, what has changed in this modern marketing and why it has changed is when you invest modern product and services, you are basically not solving the needs and needs gaps of a customer. You are not basically solving the what is customer wants. You're basically trying to fit in our product to customer. Whoever needs, they'll buy it, but we are not trying to solve anything which customer is facing. Maybe the customer needs that product, but I think there is a lot way we can innovate. There's a lot of way we can iterate that product to make it fit for a customer, right? So in that sense, I think in all the marketers should start thinking from a customer point of view rather than a product or service or what business stands for. And then you come up with your value proposition, then you come up with a offering that matters for a customer, and that's how, and then you communicate that particular value to the customer. And that's how marketing generally done in these days, and that's how we should do it. Second part which I want to touch upon is like I mentioned, marketing always operated in silos in old, or not I'm not generalizing it, but not all of them, but mostly they work in silos. They try to promote products and services without looking at what is the overall business, what's the impact that the entire activity that is bringing in. One reason is also because there is a lack of measurement. There's not really knowing what is the goodness of every penny that they spend on platform, be it offline TV, whatever they do it, it is a little bit difficult to measure. And it was mostly measured in such a way that I look at creating an awareness, or I've done this and I've got this much TRP, or I've done this, I've this much reach through a newspaper, etc. is what been measured. Even in digital world in 2010s, when we started through a lot of digital marketing, it was purely measured by with an awareness and CTRs type of a metrics, which has moved away now. Now, when I say moved away, it has moved away in two parts. One is looking at what is that we are getting out of it, not just with respect to a CTR or an awareness or a reach. It's also respect to how much cost. What is, I mean, if I'm spending 10 rupees, am I acquiring a customer? If it's so, how much am I getting a lead or am I getting an order? What is am I paying for that each particular thing? And does it make sense for my business to pay that money? And also the every kind of marketing platform comes with a attribution, or the account, they take that credit. Does all the credit going to a particular channel is converting into an incremental business for me? Those are the questions that these era of marketers should think about, rather than just creating an awareness. Next one is offline strategies to advanced technologies. There's a lot of strategies, offline strategies that we keep pumping, be it a TV marketing, or be it any sort of marketing that we used to do, be it research or anything. There's a lot of offline element to it, in which basically there are limitations to it, because you are not able to integrate a lot of things, not able to bring in every analysis or every campaign, read it to the best that we can read right now. So with the advanced technology that has come in now, with a lot of software, with a lot of platforms that is available, in terms of just for example, is it a Google Analytics or any other high level analytics platforms, has helped you to measure these campaigns or measure the investments that you are doing in the for the brand, can be measured at a much better way, rather than just looking at only reach or awareness, which is very similar to the next point also. uh, just rather than just looking at mind measures, like how many people have registered or how many people have known about my brand, look at what's the performance, as in did I actually make a difference in the company's growth rate, or did I actually make a difference in my customer acquisition cost? Those are the numbers, those are the hardcore numbers that we should look into it as a marketer, rather than just only measuring the soft metrics. And what has also changed is, in the past we used to target everybody, be it even in digital. It was not very done very well in the beginning of digital world. What has changed now, and what need to focus, even at this point of time also, a lot of marketers goes wrong in targeting the mass crowd, rather than targeting when to target, whom to target, and what time to target. All of that has been not been done very well by a lot of marketers, but I think it has changed a lot in the last 5 to 6 years. By a lot of platforms have enabled us to do this. At the same time, marketers also realize that rather than targeting a very broad and everyone, you divide your customers or target market into different sort of users, and try to reach out to them with right messaging and at the right time, to the right people, right? So I think, in a nutshell, what I want to take away from you from this slide is, start thinking from customer. It's all begin from customers, and try to understand what is customer needs and needs gaps, and make use of the advanced technologies that is available in the market, and and try to solve customer problems, is what modern marketing should do. And when I say modern marketing, it hasn't changed. It is not like traditional was like that, and modern is now in a new fashion. It is just a better version of this. At that time, because of some limitations, we did it, or we'd have not realized that we should have done it in that way. In this era, it's a better version of it, and we need to follow that. If we don't follow it, we may fail, right? So that's what I wanted to take away from this slide. I will take the questions by end of the webinar, but I'll also just take a look at if there is anything there. Cool. I think I'll move to the next slide. Okay, so I wanted to highlight on 2-3 important points on if you're while you're making a career in marketing, what are the key things that you should keep in mind? Well, I touched upon it in the over here, but I want to go in deeper in terms of what each of them meant to me, as well as what is each of them is important as a marketer. One is the customer value. uh, Customer value is, it's nothing, it is basically, it's about what is the perception that we are creating in customer mind, about what is the uh, what is the worth. Is it, I mean, customer perception of a worth of a particular product or a service, how do they perceive that? Worth is basically, it can be a benefit, it can be the experience or anything that they goes through, right? uh, so in this particular slide, what I'm going to cover is uh, a customer value is very important. As you'll have to measure customer value as a marketer, because if because that is what the ultimate that is what is the ultimate customer satisfaction or a customer experience, right? Now, how do you do it? Through how do you do, every marketer have to do these things to understand or reach out to, figure out that this is what a customer wants. How do you do it, right? uh, or in a such a way that keeping in mind that the customer value is important, you'll have to do these 4 5 things to reach that objective. One is, as a marketer, you need to keep constantly reach out to customers, look out customers, and conduct a lot of research and understand, even if be it talking to customer or looking at the data or any sort of trends. You need to understand what is the customer need. So uncovering customer needs is the primary part of a marketer, primary thing for a marketer to understand what is my customer looking for, what is his needs, right? And once you identify these needs, see, at end of the day, the marketing person is not the person who is going to create a product or run the business show. But why I'm stressing on this point, why I'm talking about customer value or growth marketing, etc. over here is, marketing has a very key role on influencing the organization to what should the organization look at, because marketing is the only department that understand the depth of what customer is looking for, right? And we should be marketing should be in a position to influence the organization by understanding different customer needs and unifying the data insights and telling the organization, saying that, hey, uh, this is what customer is expecting. If we make this, it will change the it will change the business, or it will have a higher growth rate, or it will improve the customer experience, hence we should do this, right? So as a marketer, it is very important to understand, it is not just running the campaigns or just having a TV campaign or just coming up with a great creative, we are done with the job. We also have a very important role in, while all of that is important, we also have a very important role in creating that or influencing the organization by understanding the marketing customer needs and telling them to make what is the right offering for a customer. And then comes, once you're done with that job, while you keep doing the influencing and coming up with the right offerings, our job is to communicating that value. It's not about communicating that product or services, it is communicating that value. And value can be like, and I'll just take an example in terms of why, what is customer value. For me, someone buying a product is a customer, but a consumer is someone. A value and a consumer value is something, when you consider buying a product, and when you are in the stage of buying a product, that is process in which you coming into the website or even just doing a research and making the payment and bought the product, waiting for that product, getting the product, so in experiencing the product, this entire journey is called customer value. And if you are able to take care of the entire top to bottom, or the entire funnel of that experience, from right from the moment he see an ad, or right from the moment he knows about your company until the time he uses that product, if you're able to give that, takes care of his needs, and that's what the value, right? Rather than a customer, by getting a customer is just, if a buy happened, we are done, we got the customer, we are done with the job. but that's not what the value is. Value is to create for the entire lifetime for of a customer when you use that product, and he should cherish about using that product, and tell more people about it. So that's what the communicating value. The value, communicate the value. Don't just communicate your product and benefits of a product or etc. You should communicate the entire journey and what is he going to experience from that, and deliver, and then deliver the value while while you communicate and promise to delivering the same value which you have promised already in the communication. And here the exchanging the value, what I meant by is, rather than just selling a product, sell the value, or the price that you're going to put over there is the price for the value that you are created. It's a classic example is a Netflix, where they charge, the premium they charge is for the kind of value that we are getting. It is not just about a couple of shows that we're gonna watch in Netflix. It is also about the experience that we are getting in Netflix in terms of the content that we get, the kind of recommendations that we get, etc., as the value that we are getting from a Netflix. So that's what customer value. Cool. Moving to the next one. Next one I want to touch upon growth marketing. Now, most of them will think growth is something that every day everyone is talking about growth marketing, hack marketing, growth hack. A lot of people are talking about, a lot of people are hiring in growth side, wondering what are we going to do? Are we going to go there? And I heard from a lot of people saying that, okay, these startups are hiring for a lot of growth marketers. They're going to go there and put a lot of money and do some crazy jobs and get a lot of customers. While all of that is a lot of hype in about growth marketing, to me, growth marketing is nothing. It is just basically looking at the entire funnel in a holistic way rather than just looking at the top funnel. You look at the entire funnel, you look at the entire company rather than looking at only a one part of it, or just maybe just spend some money and get some growth. That's not what growth marketing, or that's not what growth marketing is. Sustainable growth. It looks for a long-term growth by looking at every metric, by working with multiple teams, like ensuring there is a right influencing to the management, looking at the right metrics, and then ensuring that every area of opportunity you are identifying and improve the improve or innovating, coming up with initiatives to reach and improve that metrics, right? So that's what growth marketing to me. And short-term growths, there are a lot of short-term growth roles which comes in the market to just 6 months achieve these numbers, etc. But to a marketer, that is never is going to be a role. It is all about focusing on the full funnel. Generally, only a marketing department, like I mentioned in the first, they only look at the top funnel by creating awareness, and then rest of them can, business team and product team can take care of their bottom funnel users. Now, that's not the case with growth marketing. And growth marketing, there is no such roles in growth marketing. As a marketeer, we should be we should be a growth marketer in every company that you'll be part of, even if you're a brand manager, or even if you're a creative person, or even if you're a performance marketer. Everyone has a role in the growth of a company. At one or other way, you are contributing to the growth of the company, and that has to think through it, thought very clearly, and contribute to the growth of the company by various ways, which I'm going to talk about now. Now, one is obviously focus on not just awareness or acquisition. Just by creating some awareness, just by acquiring some users, your job is not done as a marketer. You keep tracking that user, looking at when I create an awareness, when I acquire a user, what happens to that user? Is he retaining with me? Is he coming back? What is the problems that he's facing after that? So you look at the entire funnel rather than looking at only one part of the funnel is that's the first important as a focus point. Second thing is, like I mentioned at the beginning, a lot of marketers just look at creating quick things in terms of downloading getting the leads is the job of mine. I'll just look at how many leads I can get, and I'm done with it, and rest that other departments will look at. Or maybe I'll just get some orders and then I'm done with my job. We'll move into the other part. So we should not focus in that way. The marketer should always focus on what is my growth rate of the company. Am I retaining these users? Is my downloads, is my registrations, is my leads, is my orders, is that converting further? Is that Is that coming back and placing orders? Are they buying more? Are they subscribing again and again? How do I grow from what is the current subscription to the next level of subscription? That's what a customer marketer focus. And marketer cannot do all this job, but you should keep focusing on that and give the right recommendations to the technology, engineering, product, business, everywhere, because you understand the customer best. The third thing is, while like I mentioned, marketing always works on silos in the past, and even now there's a lot of companies, they just work on silos. They don't understand what design team does, they don't understand what the engineering team do. And when they when the leadership asks them to work on, it also coordinate with other team, generally marketers gets like, why should I do this, or is that my role? If you ask me, yes, that is also is a very critical job, because if you don't take if you don't take that opportunity of working with engineering, design, or any or a data science, or a other integrated teams, you never be able to utilize those technologies, utilize those opportunities to improve your metrics, improve the growth of the company, right? Even if it is a product that requires for you to run the, just for an example, if you want to run a particular campaign in a much better fashion, like do a lot of complex analysis, or just a platform that you want to run campaign with a lot more creative inputs, all of that can be done with just by sitting in marketing. You need to also work with engineering teams and technical teams and product teams to enable yourself by getting the tools which they can develop for us, right? That is one example. But what I'm saying is, end of the day, an integrated way of working is very important as a growth marketer. And that because they understand one part of the company and you understand one part of the company, and if it comes together, and that's what the business makes a lot more sense, right? And the last part which I want to talk about is influence. Influence is a very important word for a marketer. A lot of us just conduct meetings, talk to, well, in the same marketing team, doesn't really go ahead and even maybe you have an idea in the product team, or maybe you have an idea in the business, or because you talk to customer and that it is something works for us, but we never go and tell in the organization that you should do this because this is not my job. But I think as a marketer, like I mentioned, you understand the customer best. We should create that influence. You should ask, you should influence the organization, you should influence the leaders to tell that this is what the direction that we should take. I think that makes a lot of difference, both as a marketer. It helps the company to grow, it helps the company to visualize a better way of growing, than just limiting into marketing and keep spending the money on marketing to create awareness. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say in this slide is, growth marketing is not just about getting some growth by spending money or doing some crazy initiative which can last for a short term. It is a long term thing, and you should focus on the entire full funnel of a company, focus on top funnel, and what is the kind of interventions that you can do in those things, and always looks at growth rates and the top metrics that it matters for the company, and understand how can I influence that, how can I move that, rather than just looking at certain numbers of the marketing matter, which matters to marketing or which measures the marketing growth. Look at the overall growth of a company and try to improve that, is what the objective I'm trying to convey through this slide. Yeah, I'll just check some questions. Okay, I think I'll take it up. There are some questions, but I think I'll take up some of them are not really connected with the topic. So I think I'll go a little while I'll go at the end. Cool. This slide is here to basically help you understand. I have purposefully did this, cutting the digital marketing as a heading over there. The reason why I wanted to, the reason why I did that is to help you understand digital marketing is just marketing. It is just another way of doing marketing. It's not something a new thing which the old marketing has gone away and there's something new and there is something interesting and I should explore this. It's not for those sort of people. Digital marketing is it's nothing. It is just an advanced and more, it's slightly enabled technology that has, the technology has helped us doing the marketing in a better fashion. That's the only thing. And and as a marketer, you should be very well be aware of what is marketing. And someone who's going to make a career in marketing should be very, you should be thoughtful of that. I'm interested in marketing and I like marketing. Is the one who can make a career in digital marketing as well. There is no even though there's a lot of technology involved, end of the day it is marketing. And someone who really knows the customer, someone who really knows what should I communicate, what should I talk about, that is the only person can make a career in marketing, even in digital marketing. So just talk about how this advanced technology has made our life easier in these days, and how should you use what has changed with this advanced technology. While digital marketing has a lot of other things which maybe we can cover up that later, but I just wanted to touch upon how advanced technologies, how do you leverage advanced technologies, and what are the critical key things that comes under from traditional way of doing things from with the help of advanced technology. What are things you should look at? So obviously technology has transformed marketing by making companies more personalizing the things for every customer. It's just not limited to communication. Everything that we do, be it the offering that we are doing it for a particular user, uh, particular customer, is very personalized, and technology helped us to do that rather in the versus the traditional marketing. So be it communication, be it product, or be it any service that we are doing, we are personalizing a lot with the technology that is available with us. And it like I mentioned earlier, in the growth marketing, where we need to work with a lot more integrated fashion, this technology helped us into do that. A lot more integration with a lot more tools. A lot of platforms and tools are helping us to integrate everything in one place, and look at and making sure that the overall strategy of a company or overall objectives and values are met in all the campaigns and all the efforts that you are doing in as a company, by having it by integrating everything in one place. It can be just a tool, or it can be a lot more. It can be like enabling a lot more, enabling the teams by having their own platforms and softwares to integrate those uh, campaigns or the propositions they are working on every day. So ensure that you are working. This integrated marketing is very important. It has to align with your overall strategy, business objectives, and company values. Otherwise, everything will work on a silos and doesn't understand what each of them are doing. It'll not end of the day add value to the company, right? So it has to be integrated, and technology helps a lot in doing that these days. And it should leverage these technologies to integrate things. Second thing is, like I mentioned, it is personalization, and personalization is at a very high scale these days. Everything is personalized to an end user, right? It is not even a set of cohort of users. Every user has its own way of. Just taking an example of Facebook or Instagram or Netflix or anything, right? It has a lot more personalization. It is all comes with the technology that we are available right now, which is not there in past, right? So how does this whole things happens? You, by knowing the customer well, right? What is this customer is looking for? What does he want? Why is he different from other people? And what does he want? And create that personalization that he wants and deliver that to him, so that he stays with us. He comes and transact with us. He keep being with us. And I think personalization is a very important topic to me. And don't limit only this to communication. At every journey of a user, be it product, or even a product that you're creating as FMCG, or if the product that is creating by a technology, any companies, it matters. As far as you know your customer really well, there's a lot of technologies that can help you, personalize the product and communication to that user specifically, and it helps you to improve your loyalty, improve the engagement very high to compare to anything that fits for everybody. So personalization is one key thing according to me. Third thing is data mining and insights. Now with the technology, while data mining has become a lot more easier with the technology, there's a lot of data you can save, a lot of data you can get versus traditional where a lot of them are offline. You may not get all the data there. You have to do a lot of research, conduct a research, and take time to do all of that. Now that technology is there, you can collect the data like this. Marketing can collect the data like this. You can conduct the research very easily through online. All of that is possible at very, very fast pace, right? But keep in mind, a lot of data is good, and some insights also comes with the data. Great, but as you as a marketer, without any marketing intelligence, because not all the decisions are taken just by data and insights, and if you go only by data and insights, you may go wrong sometime, and that's why the marketer comes on board. The marketing comes the role is you take a lot of subjective calls, because you know the customer, you spoke to the customer, you know the behavior, his sentiments and everything, because you are interacting. You're not interacting by just calling up the person or just looking at his emails, etc. You are looking at even the social media that you are spending time by looking at the chats, comments, the way people interact, the way people talk about it, blogs. Everything is giving you an idea in terms of how a user is responding to, how a user is interacting with you, and what he wants. So you always have to ensure that the insights that are coming from data has to marry with your marketing intelligence to make a product successful, to make a technology successful. Otherwise, what happens is it's the technology only will never deliver the ROI that you are expecting. So it has to always marry with in marketing intelligence, and that is the role of a marketer, to go and influence the team, saying that, hey, this is the intelligence I'm having with me. We should look at it this, and then back up with the data, and then tell that this is what a customer is looking for. All right. So those are the advanced technologies that we should use. And the last one which I want to touch upon is AI and machine learning, which is a very popular term in this era. And people who are going to make a career in marketing would be wondering, why should I learn? I should be knowing about AI and machine learning. It is very important. You don't have to know the technical aspects of it, but to me, it is very important, especially as a digital marketer. You should know how does this whole machine systems works in the backend. Just for taking an example, be it a Google AdWords or a Facebook or any other analytics tool, how does this whole thing work? What do they do? How do they collect this data? How do they optimize the campaign? What do they reach out to this campaign? The reason why you should understand them is because these computers are programmed in such a way that they learn from you. When I say you, learn from your brand, learn from your customers, learn from their orders, transactions, and then pass it and reach out to the right customer, create the right experience to the customer, right? So these are systems who learn, rather than in the olden days, you just you create a program and the program will keep running. Now what you do is, you're giving input, you're just giving some inputs and asking computer to program by yourself and give me the end results. I'm just telling the end results and giving some inputs in terms of raw data, and computer program by itself, process by itself, and give me the end results, right? So that's why it is very important as a marketer to understand how does this work, what are the inputs which is critical for the systems to go and program by themselves and find out the customer and create the right experience. Now, if you don't understand this, what happens is you end up running Google AdWords, you end up running Facebook ads, all of that fine, but you may not find the right results or getting the good results out of it, because you don't know what the right input to give. When I say input, be it the right creative or be it the right signals to signals, as in a lot of people converge. What should I optimize on? Should I optimize on purchase? Should I optimize on reactivation? Should I optimize on installs? All of that is an experience, and all of that is a learning of how does this whole system work, what are the algorithms we used in the backend to make sure that this is going to work. And by knowing that, you are enabled in such a way as a marketer to ensure to give the right signals and right input to these systems to make it work better. So AI and machine learning is a very critical thing. You should have the basics of it. You should understand how does this whole thing work as a marketer, and then you give the right inputs to the systems and platforms that you're working on. Without that, it might be very difficult to drive the results end of the day. Cool. So in a nutshell, so it's basically what I'm trying to say is this: the tech, you should make use of the technology to to ensure that we are creating enough customer value, understand the customer in a better fashion, understand the needs of the customer. It is very easy in these days than in the past to do all of this. So enabling, making utilizing of advanced technology is very important. And these 4 points to me is pretty important for me to work with in any company as a marketer, and also to work with other teams to grow the company growth rate of a company, etc. Right. So yeah, I think we'll move into the last slide, which will not take. So this is more in terms of people who gonna make a career or doing an MBA, or anyone who's doing any sort of course, be it MBA, BBA, MCA, all of that, who's aspirants who want to take up career in marketing. 5 things to keep in mind according to me. Some of the top things which I came in my mind. One is marketing as a concept remains same. Whatever Flip Kotler told in 30 years back remains same now. Whatever the ways of doing marketing in 100 years back remains same now. The concept remains same in both traditional and modern world. So don't confuse with all this digital marketing. A lot of things are happening. SEO, that is fine. You need to understand. You need to spend time. You need to understand the technology. A lot of efforts there to understand that. But end of the day, if you are not a person who's interested in marketing, you don't know about marketing as a basic concept, and you are not the person to go there as well, right? So please keep in mind that marketing is the core. Have understanding of what is marketing. Please, if you are very sure about you are interested in marketing, you should definitely make a career in marketing and digital marketing and advanced technologies. Second thing which I want to talk about is the customer first mindset, rather than just running. A lot of people come to me and say that, hey, can I run a page Facebook boost post so that I can get a lot of likes and shares? Sure, that's good for you. Can I run a lead generation when I get a lead? But what is our end objective? What are you trying to solve for a customer? If you never thought of in that way, and going in other direction, saying that I'll first do this, create some awareness, create some likes and shares, and then I'll think of customer and what to want, it's never gonna work. You're just wasting the money that you are putting over this side. Always think from a customer perspective. What does he want? Even if you're communicating something, does just getting a like is that what make a customer to come back to my site and make an order? Never. What does he want? Try to solve that in every way, right? So keep always a customer find mindset, and that's the future. Without that, I think it's very difficult to be in this market. So customer find mindset is very critical according to me. And adapt to the everyday changing world. Digital this world with the new technologies, every day is changing. Every day is changing. Just to take an example, Facebook changes their UI. Just running the ads platform, they changes their UI in every 6 months, every 3 months sometime. And if you're not adapting to it, if you're not adjusting to those things, it's very difficult to be part of the whole world. So so have the basics, adapt to the everyday changing world, and that's going to happen. What you see right now will not be what you're seeing in after 3 years. It will be an entire different thing of way things are going to be market, right? The fourth thing is measurement is a very, very important thing according to me. Don't just measure your likes, don't just measure your orders, don't just measure things at an incrementality. Like, what is that I am bringing on table to this business, right? Every penny money that you spend, every effort that you put, what is that my business going to look like if I do this long term, right? I think that matters to a company rather than just only looking at some bottom part of the funnel. So top to bottom of measurement is very important. Whatever the ways of measuring it, it has to be looked at it in a holistically rather than just looking at some of the metrics in a company. And while a lot of the last point is, while a lot of marketers fails on this, they don't look at business, they just look at their numbers. And I touched upon this many times. Business is what matters end of the day. Then now the growth matters today. What is the business growth? What is the ultimate metrics that you're influencing? That is the metric that we should keep in mind in every activity that you, maybe not out of 10 activity, 5 of them you can't even measure what is that. But we should keep in mind, and we should ensure that whatever we can do should be keeping that in mind, and developing this rather than just looking at some other metrics. While all other metrics are important, that metrics is the very ultimate metrics. Have all your strategies, have all your tactics been developed to achieve that metric? And yeah, I think those are the 5 critical points that I wanted to talk about, key things in the that you should keep in mind while making a career in marketing. Yeah, I think thanks. I think I'm done with it. I think thanks a lot for listening to this webinar. I think we can move on to the question and answer session. Uh, or if you guys have any doubt, we can put it on the question and answer session. I'll go through and try answering it.
Google, there are a few questions in the in the chat and also in the Q&A tab.
Yeah, I'm looking at Q&A right now. Yeah. There is one question about what should be our approach to the product which has not success story or previous appearance in the market, traditional, modern. See, Rahul, there is no one answer to it. There is no modern or there is no traditional. If you look at India, India is a country in which there is still a lot more reach, a lot more awareness you can still generate through traditional marketing and modern marketing. It is the stage of a business. It is a stage of, it is there about your what is your customer, what's your product, where does it fit, and it should be always a mix. Maybe some business just make going online, but a lot of business makes business makes sense to have a combination of traditional and modern marketing. When I say traditional, not the things which I spoke about, traditional in the sense offline marketing versus digital marketing. Of the modern marketing which I spoke about is applicable for every brand, because it is a better version of marketing. But offline versus digital, it should be a combination rather than just only going with one. There is no one answer for it. There's a question by Vinod. Are you suggesting that the marketing take up a role of a product owner, as in agile product development, as act as a close liaison between engineering and business? Basically, call out what it exactly. You should a certain part of your role should also take care of this role, but you don't have to become a product manager. You should think of end to end how to build a product. You should be a person who suggest, give them recommendations of what matters to a customer, and this is the key product thing which helps this organization to grow. And you should work with them, influence them, be part of their journey, so that you can ensure that this is being taken care. And if you look at America or in US states, the roles that been getting hired in marketing is a lot of them are marketing plus growth. They call it in that way, and India is also moving in that direction. Doing alone marketing has gone away, and it is going to go away completely. And it has to be growth mindset. It has to be working with integrated teams. So yeah, you should also take up that role. A 20-30% of your time should spend on that side as well. Someone asked, Sanjay has asked, while we talk about right market time, how do you define right here? As in, when I said, Sanjay, about right and right time, right person, right messaging, you basically know, you should know who's your customer. You should know what you should talk about and when to talk about, right? So someone, I don't know, just to take an example, someone who's selling a credit card business can't go and put your ad in a newspaper which is consumed only in rural areas, which nobody owns a credit card. Right? Now you should know what is the medium you're using, where is that user, and when you should hit that user, and what messaging is what I meant by right. Sorry, there's a lot of questions coming in. I'm just going. There is an interesting question from Saknik. Won't the engineering team or the designing team be offended that the marketing team is trying to influence the product when they are not specifically skilled or wasn't involved in the product making or designing? This is a thought that will come to every marketer, but that's not how the world going to operate, and that's why the leadership and that's why the culture that is building in any organization. None of the organization will. While I may be a functional expert, he may be a functional expert. He's his own functional expert, but without coordinating, without integrating, without looking at each other, the business will not grow. So I think it happens in silos, some of them, but in a culture where this is how that it makes sure that the company grows. I don't see any conflict that arise. It's a more a mindset. I think if you change the mindset, it's more it's doable. There is a question on is the value of offline marketing decreased in comparison of online marketing? No, I answered it again. There it is not. It depends upon the business. It depends upon the customer and product that you are selling, and at least in India, it is definitely not gone down. You should be very smart enough to choose how what is the right combination of offline and online. There is an interesting question which is not really related to this, but I thought of answering it. Someone from Vishal has asked this question. Company says that they are preparing for upcoming 5 to 10 years. Is that really work? Where same peer of companies is doing the same thing and technology is with everyone. Uh, yes, if companies that are prepare, companies should prepare for long term, and there should be a part of your resource should work on 5 to 10 years upcoming. Otherwise, like exactly you mentioned, you will end up doing what the others are doing, and you may not be very different from others, and you'll not able to create any uniqueness. And to find the future upcoming avenues of growth, you should keep looking at what should future look like, even though you can't uh, explain everything or come up with everything. Your set of resources should work on future planning. It can be even 5 to 10 years. It should be. Okay, there is an interesting question again on Sakanic. I feel that the ads are mainly controlled by advertising companies like Facebook or Google. We rarely get to choose what kind of users the ads go. So this is an interesting question, Sakanic. Actually, that was I was trying to answer by AI and machine learning. Where if you are, they are controlling where the ads are showing, but you have a lot of control in terms of what your control is in terms of what is the objective that you are chasing. And that's what I said. You understand the machine well, and you should give the right input to the system. And if you fail to do this, and that's why you get a confusion saying that is Facebook and Google managing my ads, or there is no control over me. It is about that lack of understanding. And if you understand the platform very well and give the right input, you are able to reach out to the right users and get the results. Okay, let me go down. There is a question by Vijay Krishna. Is there a ratio to be maintained between the amount or effort spent on marketing to the profit outcome that is achieved out of it? There is no standard or a benchmark for it. It is about uh, what is the product that you're selling, what does it, what's the cost of it, and what does it make sense for you. Is that 100 rupees, 200 rupees? Is that what the profit that is? Are you getting profit out of it? Are you making a margin? And whatever is the acceptable number for you for your business is, and it will depend on each business. Do we have more time, Abhishek, or I think
Yeah, we
maybe?
can. I mean, we have time for one last question, Gokul.
Okay. There is one question on how can I evaluate customer value? You can evaluate the customer value by understanding what is the perception of a customer in which uh, you know what is the worth that what is the which has a product, whatever it is, it can be a product or a service. What is the perception that he's get, what is the worth that he's getting from the product and service and the benefits that you are offering to a customer versus the possible alternatives. I think you're selling a mobile, and what is the worth of buying this versus having different alternatives which is available. And that can be anything, by just while even while exploring, while buying, while using customer support. Everything is a customer value. Every touch point to this a user is a customer value that you are generating. Yeah, I think with that, I'm gonna kind of done with the questions. Thanks so much, folks, listening to me. I think I'm handing over to Abhishek to take up the rest of the questions and rest of the rest part of the webinar.
Thank you so much, Gokul. I think thanks for such an insightful talk and sharing your experience with us this evening.
Thank
I
you.
mean, while we all knew about this subject, I think this level of depth has helped us to put in perspective the growth and business value that, and I think marketing as a function uh, generates.
Yep.
I can completely relate to your point about how marketing is evolving to become more and more customer centric in nature, and which is driving the shift from modern ways. I mean, which is driving the shift to the modern ways of marketing.
Absolutely.
So thanks again, Gokul. Let me just take this webinar ahead by sharing a few points about the online uh, uh, the programs from Manipal University, Jaipur. While what you see on the screen is about specifics about multiple programs. I think these programs for a student, the life cycle, the journey is completely online. What it means is that applicants or students wanting to pursue their MBA, MCA, BBA, and BCA from Manipal University, Jaipur in online mode can learn from anywhere across the globe at their own pace without impacting the rest of the commitments. These programs they come with career assistance. I mean, there are job fairs, helping the students about employability by doing mock interviews, CV building, and so on. I think one of the greatest differentiator in an online learning mode is the flexibility to choose their own date and time around examinations, and also the fact that the examinations are delivered completely online. A student always has a 24/7 mentor or a dedicated advisor. That a student can go back to, uh, ask questions about any specific topic. Uh, the fee structure is pretty affordable. I mean, and the faculty pool with about 485 odd faculties, qualified faculties with rich experience in in teaching. I think another thing that stands out is the integrated LMS and the extensive e-library. So, anyone signing up for the online programs, online degree programs at MUJ get access to over, 150,000 ebooks that they can browse across multiple topics. On the next slide, we basically it talks about online Manipal Plus. Uh, Someone, if you could help me with the next slide, please. So online Manipal Plus, these are, these are, it's about going beyond, the degrees. Online Manipal Plus is basically about three things, which is professionally learning courses. So, while Gokul's talk, I had a few, there were a few questions around how to get into digital marketing, where to do these courses, and so on and so forth. So, for the benefit of everyone, I think as part of Online Manipal Plus, all students get access to multiple e-learning courses. The management students get access to courses like business analytics, uh, digital marketing, and so on and so forth. Students applying for BCA and MCA get access to cloud computing courses, courses on C, C++, Java programming with integrated projects, and so on and so forth. I think another okay, I was coming to this question about IT specialization. Yes, there are plans in future, but I think as of now, uh, the Coursera for Campus is one place where a lot of a lot of courses. So there are about 4,600 odd certification programs that the learner has access to, and these are from the best of the universities across the globe. That comes as an added advantage for learners of online Manipal programs. Also, the fact that such series of webinars from industry leaders and industry experts come in weekly to ensure that we have holistic development and we are much more prepared as professionals of tomorrow. So I think these are a few things that I wanted to talk about. The online Manipal Plus and the other programs, other degree programs. I'm happy to take if there are any questions around Manipal University, Jaipur, and the online degree programs. Okay. I'll start taking a few questions here. Okay, so when would the maintained details be communicated to students? This will be communicated about 1 week prior to the batch start date, with the entire schedule. The entire schedule gets published 1 week prior to the batch start date. As per the latest update from the competent authority, the programs are starting in the first week of March. So I think by last week of February, you can expect all details around the schedule, uh, the details about mentor classes, exams, and so on and so forth. No, IT is not yet added to this. So IT as a specialization is not there, but there are multiple courses. There are multiple certification courses in the IT space, both as part of Coursera as well as part of the free e-learning programs that comes under Online Manipal Plus. The okay, so there's a question from Simran about after registration and paying semester fee, what is the next course of action? The next course of action would be communicated 1 week prior to the batch start date. Uh, there is no time limit for digital courses. I think students who have already registered have got access to these e-certification courses, and you can start doing your digital marketing, business analytics courses, and your C, C++ programming courses, and so on and so forth. Okay, MCA classes will again start first week of March is the tentative date. That's what we have heard from competent authorities. As soon as the final date is out, a communication will be rolled out to all to all the applicants. Karan, you have asked the question: will it be in physical form or online form? If you are referring to exams, the exams will be completely online. The classes are to start in the first week of February. That's the tentative date. Okay, so there's a question about non-finance background can do finance specification. Yeah, I think please refer to onlinemanipal.com for more details, with respect to programs, so that you will find in-depth details about program, and you can, get answers to all your queries there. Okay, I can take a few more questions. I mean, if there are any specific questions with respect to Manipal University, Jaipur, and the online degree programs, please let us know. Yes, Anand, in your EdInex student portal, the free, it's basically those certification programs which have already been activated for management professionals, which is student doing BBA and MBA. There are courses like business analytics and digital marketing, which has been assigned for students who have applied for BCA and MCA. The cloud computing courses on C, Java programming with integrated projects. So these type of courses have already been assigned, and you can start your learning process. Okay, thank you everyone for attending this webinar. I think it's been a you've been a it's been great with interacting you all. The recording of this session would be available on Online Manipal Plus YouTube channel.
Thank you, Gokul. Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you, all the attendees, and uh,
Thank you so much. Thank
we'll
you so
see
much.
you next on 27th. We'll have a webinar on 27th now. Soon you will get the details for the same. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.